Hey, we often hear it said, there are plenty of fish in the sea. People almost never say, there are insufficient quantities of fish in the sea. There's always plenty of them. Unfortunately, this ideology is not backed up by facts and logic. Without doxing myself, I think I can safely say, I don't live in the sea, so I can't prove it isn't filled with fish. Luckily, I don't have to for the purposes of this video. I get that there are a bunch of fish in there. There are probably plenty of them. But we have to quit the fish talk for a second and face the fact that this expression is used mostly not among fishmongers, but instead to cheer people up when they're grieving a romantic relationship. And this use of the expression is what I take issue with, not the literal fish-related claim about which I know nothing. While of course it's true that we can always meet someone new, pointing this out is not the best move. Let me explain. If someone's grieving a lost love, how much does it help to tell them that they'll meet someone new? This may seem like a silly comparison, but I see it as emotionally equivalent to telling a starving person that there are plenty of great meals in their future. Or maybe a better analogy is it's like telling someone grieving a grandparent who's passed away that there are lots of old people they can hang out with. It's like, okay, that's great, but that's not the point. The point is that person was my person, someone I was bonded to in a unique and special way. Thinking about them as replaceable doesn't help me very much because it's not true. Not to mention that it kind of also subtly implies that I'm replaceable, which isn't a very good feeling. The way this expression both works and doesn't work seems to me the inverse of when people say all cops are bastards. It's the inverse because the sentiment of all cops are bastards is true despite the fully literal interpretation being sort of absurd. Like, of course, there are individual people who work as cops who themselves have somewhat good intentions and who wouldn't seem like a bastard if you met them out of uniform or even in uniform in certain contexts. But don't get caught up in the literal interpretation because that's no more the point than the point about fish is actually about fish. The truth of the phrase all cops are bastards is bulletproof, no pun intended, because the system of policing needs each cop to be, at the very least, an enabler of bastards, a potential bastard, a bastard in waiting, and so for all intents and purposes, all cops are bastards. Inversely, the plenty of fish expression is true in a literal sense, we can assume, but absurd in its overall sentiment. The idea that someone should replace grief with hopefulness offends me on a deep level because I see it as one of the many non-dialectical ways that people can see the world that actually harms their mental health. If you have an hour of free time, feel free to check out my video on that. Of course, it's not good to harp on your ex as being your soulmate for the rest of your life and never move on, but the solution to this doesn't need to be the brute antithesis that this plenty of fish expression expresses. The real healthy solution, in my professional, personal, and stylish opinion, is the synthesis, which is, ouch, that person was really special to me and it hurts so much to have them gone. And I can and will meet someone new in the future. So, my hopefulness about the future can coexist with my grief about the past. When we try to cheer someone up by making them aware of just the antithesis, the fact that their feelings will change and they'll meet someone new, we're trying to force the hard feelings away without addressing them. Let's instead address them, take our time, buy some new snorkeling gear, and when we're ready, see what fishes exist and how we want to relate to them. Thank you very much for listening to this strange rant. Feel free to share this with your lovesick friends and enemies if you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment and let me know if and how I'm wrong, if you or someone you know has benefited from someone commenting about the plentitude of fish. And check out the other videos on this channel, like these two that are also about mental health stuff, or these two about more political stuff, or this weird one about trees if you like trees. If you really enjoy the videos, you can support the channel on Patreon, but you do not have to, because if you don't support me on Patreon, someone else will, because you know what they say, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Alright, have a good one.